What's going on, dudes and dudes? It is Deadbolt here, bringing back some more SCP reactions, and today we're doing SCP-472. All I know is that it's some sort of bloodstone and it's mind affecting. I have not seen this one yet, so let's watch it together. Alright. Oh, that's the highest quality. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-472. Object Class: Euclid. Previously safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-472 is to be kept in the center of an empty locked cell.
Hold on.
Measuring...
Before we get into it, that's right, I was trying to make it a thing where I try to guess what it is. A bloodstone, and it's mind affecting, and it's Euclid. That's the information we have so far. I have to guess it's probably like a magic stone, and because it's a bloodstone, I feel like it might be like you grab it and it makes you violent, like, you know, attacking other people mindlessly, kind of like the Red Lanterns, kind of like that. That's my guess.
37 by 37 meters. All personnel wishing to enter for research purposes must undergo a psychological evaluation and submit a research request before being permitted entry.
Yeah, but I don't think that has,
should not
that'll work on any level.
Meters of the stone for more than 5 minutes without being directly monitored by security personnel. Update 472-1. No personnel exposed to SCP-472 through Stage 6 of its effects may be allowed more than 4 consecutive minutes of further exposure without direct approval of Site Command.
So the longer you're in its vicinity, the more it affects you.
2. Once every 60 days, 1D class personnel must be exposed to SCP-472 for a period of between 10 and 27 minutes.
So I'm guessing that's a sacrifice.
472-3. Due to biomass loss, no personnel may be exposed to SCP-472 more than once in a 48-hour period without explicit approval by Dr. A. Jones.
Okay, here's the description.
Description: SCP-472 is a red garnet of the pyropspessartite variety of unusual size, 1.8 carat. The phrase, "For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart," has been engraved in 2mm lettering on the stone's surface. Relevance of the phrase is unknown. When any organism possessing a heartbeat passes within an 18-meter radius of SCP-472, that subject will begin to hear the distant beating of a heart within their head.
Oof, that's
the
weird.
heartbeat heard directly corresponds with the subject's own heartbeat, with the frequency of the palpitations increasing or decreasing with the pulse of the subject. Prolonged exposure causes a variety of additional psychological effects.
Actually, I think that is like something that actually does happen in real life. Because I know the quietest room on Earth, like, nobody can spend more than 20 minutes inside of it because you can hear like your blood flowing and your heart beating, and it's just like, it just drives you insane for some reason. But it feels like this SCP has like a similar effect to that room. But yeah, you could hear your own heartbeat. Sounds awesome.
Stage 1. On set, 5 to 7 minutes. Low-level feelings of unease and anxiety. Effects cease immediately on vacating area. Stage 2. On set, 6 to 21 minutes. Gradually increasing feelings of anxiety and paranoia. Effects decrease on vacating area and cease within 5 minutes.
And here's the 27-minute one.
Onset 18 to 27 minutes. High-level feelings of anxiety and paranoia. The subject begins to hallucinate, reporting seeing the world around them tinged with red and hearing vague whispering noises. 27% of subjects also report strong feelings of guilt. Effects decrease within 20 minutes of vacating area and cease within 60 minutes.
Oh, well, that's good. At least they don't die.
Stage 4. Onset 34 to 59 minutes. Previous symptoms increase. Hallucinations.
Yeah, and of course they're just gonna push it to see exactly when somebody will die because of this.
Hallucinations become more vivid and visual. Frequent hallucinations include rivulets of blood trailing down the walls, images of dead bodies, thumping, screaming, and ambulatory corpse-like figures. 65% of subjects rendered mentally incapable of leaving the influence of SCP-472. Effects decrease within 60 minutes of vacating the area and cease within 3 hours.
See, like, they get these horrible reactions, and then they're just like, but did you die, though? And then they're like, okay, well, they didn't, so let's just leave him be in there until he does, to see the extent of its power. Like, Jesus.
Stage 5. Onset 55 to 69 minutes. Previous symptoms increase. 100%
of course,
of
why wouldn't they?
rendered mentally incapable of leaving the influence of SCP-472. 38% of subjects exposed enter a state of catatonia. This state has a 76% fatality rate if subjects are not removed from SCP-472's area of influence. Effects decrease within 6 hours of vacating area and cease within 24 hours.
Okay, well, at least it still ceases. Like, you can still save people from this, you know. Like, eventually they will go back to normal. That's kind of a, you know, good, at least.
Stage 6.
I can see why it's Euclid.
Set 361 to 724 plus
of course.
minutes.
Why?
Surviving subjects now capable of leaving the influence of SCP-472, though many do not realize this unless prompted. Previous symptoms vary in degree and intensity and become sporadic, alternating with periods of lucidity indefinitely until subject leaves or is removed from the area. Effects cease within 24 hours of vacating area. SCP-472 was recovered from
so he could still live.
Residence of a wealthy man living in. Foundation investigators were alerted by local reports of hauntings by domestic staff after was hospitalized by a fall. Mobile Task Force Delta 5 Frontrunners was assigned to investigate due to possible connection to ongoing projects. Investigation narrowed down the origin of the anomalous effects to SCP-472, which had been prominently displayed in Jewel Collection. Origin of SCP-472 is under investigation.
So, they had this thing on display, and when people were just like, hey, the walls are bleeding, man, that's when they were like, okay, maybe we should call it the SCP Foundation and deal with this. Like, what? But it's crazy, like, where they find these things at. It's just like in, you know, a public area where it can cause so much damage.
SCP-472 does not appear to have any other anomalous effects, harmful or otherwise.
Yeah, not yet.
Project tentatively classified as safe, pending testing. Potential downgrade to anomalous. See Addenda. SCP-472 was located via reports from the so-called anomalous community, from interfacing with Mobile Task Force Sigma-3 bibliographers. Initial theories from anomalous community sources categorized SCP-472 as a seal, containing an entity responsible for SCP-472's anomalous effects. However, further analysis has not supported this, rather indicating that SCP-472's appearance as a red garnet may be due to a fundamental perception error of unknown nature. Sources have not been able to confirm anything substantial about the origin or nature of SCP-472. Addendum 472-45. Effects of subsequent exposure. Subjects previously exposed to SCP-472's effects experience a cumulative 10 to 20% increase in the speed of the onset of certain effects of SCP-472
So it happens to them
with
faster.
each additional exposure. Eventually, subjects will immediately begin experiencing symptoms at Stage 2 levels, with Stage 3 occurring within 5 to 10 minutes. Stages 4 to 5 then occur as normal. The onset time of stage 6 is not affected and continues to occur no earlier than 361 minutes after initial exposure.
See, that is one thing I like about the SCP Foundation. They will test every SCP until they find every ability that it has, every symptom, every effect, every like little detail about it until they figure out exactly what it can do. It might not be pretty, but you know, still interesting.
Hallucinations begin to differ in nature when a subject is exposed to SCP-472 more than 1 to 5 times. Subjects report visions of a massive growing collection of skinless, organic material resembling animal or human organs, muscular structures, bones, though no recognizable bones, etc., joined together in a fashion that does not occur in nature. All subjects report multiple hearts beating within the biomass, sometimes dotting its surface. After the 5th exposure, all subjects report seeing this, whether or not previous hallucinations remain present or superimposed. Additionally, interviews with multiple exposure subjects, anomalous information element, see document, and interview 472-01-65B. SCP-472's object class has been upgraded to Euclid. Containment procedures updated. Addendum.
So
472-078. Area of influence, conditional increase.
I can see why it's Euclid. I mean, at the end of the day, you can kind of just like toss this thing into a box, and as long as nobody, you know, picks it up and decides, you know what, I'm going to use this for evil, everybody's good, you know, as long as nobody does that.
Why does this thing smell like vomit?
So, yeah, this is like a definitive Euclid rating, I would say. Why would it be safe in the first place? Like, this thing obviously turns people crazy. Why would anybody make this safe?
When no subjects have been exposed to SCP-472 for more than 5 minutes, within a period of 2 months, its area of influence begins increasing by a rate of 0.5 meters per hour. Expansion is temporary, reverting back to the original 18 meters area of effect once a subject undergoes exposure.
Okay.
Addendum 472-130.
Yeah, that's not good.
Possible physical biomass presence. Further testing with subjects exposed multiple times to SCP-472, indicating that the garnet stone classified as SCP-472 may in fact be the only visible portion of a much larger and continually increasing biomass, existing in so-called transdimensional, metaphor of the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, so there's more of it out there. It's like the Phoenix Force.
Also pending review. Addendum 472-135. Subject biomass alteration. Subsequent testing of subjects exposed to SCP-472 indicates that all subjects experienced a 0.01 to 1.35% decrease in biomass with each exposure to SCP-472. Subjects unaware unaware of this event.
So it loses mass every time it's exposed to somebody?
Okay.
This is a weird one.
That about does it for today. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's a neat little SCP.
.com.
Makes you go crazy if you're exposed to it too long. Ferdinand the Cannibal. I think that's one of the ones I'm gonna do next. But yeah, that's weird. Also, Garnet's my birthstone, so that's kind of cool. I have an evil birthstone type SCP out there. But I like that this is one you could survive. You know, even if you're exposed to it for a long time, you can still be fine. You have a chance of dying, yeah, but you could also recover, and that's nice. You know, happy endings, they're always nice. And that can be taken out of context very easily. I just now realized, and I regret saying it. But alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!